Okay, so it's been 1 year since we last recorded. This time last year, we were traveling for 3 months. And in the Thailand leg of the trip, we decided to sneak off during one of Sia's naps and record a podcast. And maybe a few weeks ago, I got a message from an RNT member who said, "Hey, I just listened to your episode 377, I think it was, with Chandni. I'd love to get her back on a year later and find out what's been going on." So maybe to kick it off, how's your routine sort of changed in the last year? You know, we've gone from having a near 1-year-old to a near 2-year-old. How has routine changed? Because I think it was one thing we discussed a lot last time. So yeah.
Well, I'd say since she's turned 1, the routine has just changed, and it changes like my routine and her routine. And my routine is based mainly on her. And I try and kind of fix the naps and fix the night times and wake ups and this and that, but it doesn't always work out like that. So we just got to be a bit flexible with it. My routine has changed, but it can change daily sometimes, even weekly when I try and plan something in, but it doesn't always work out like that. But that's just the nature of having a young baby, and you just got to be a bit flexible with it. So since Thailand, I remember her napping on cue twice a day and then going to sleep on cue. And then since she turned 1, she's just got more aware of everything, especially now. Like, she's got an opinion and wants to kind of push the boundaries and talk back a little bit and have her say in everything. So it's nice to see that independence in her, but it just gets a bit like, right, that's going to change what I'm going to do. So I had a bit more time, I'd say, when I was back then. But since she's turned 1, so over the last year, it's been a bit kind of, I don't have as strong of a routine, but the basics are always there. And that's something that we work on together, right?
Yeah.
Like some of the basics that you have and me. But we used to go for like daily walks in the morning, which don't happen as frequently now, just based on her waking up a bit earlier, then you starting work earlier, and just everything kind of changing. And that's the key thing. Like, I think we just have to adapt and make it work for us. So in terms of routine, I probably don't get to do as many of the things that I want to do during the day, but that's also fine. And that's just the nature of how it is. How about
maybe
you?
a bit more specific?
So for example,
what are the foundational?
So the foundations, I'd say, are we always eat breakfast together. So us three always eat breakfast together. We always have, me and Sia always have lunch together, and then we tend to have dinner together, which is nice. And I know that we need to kind of like, we cook good meals together, we eat well. So that's a big like part of the routine is cooking. So making sure that we're cooking well, getting our steps in. So that still happens. It just depends on when that happens. And our quality time, which is a big one as well. So for me, I always wanted to make sure that we are able to communicate and have time to ourselves. And it's not always easy having that. We're very fortunate that we have grandparents and people who can look after Sia from time to time, which helps us and our routine and our quality time. But also things like the gym. I used to go 3 times a week, 4 times a week. And now it's like, when can I fit it in? And when is she going to wake up so I can go in the morning or in the evening? And it's just changed in that sense. And obviously this just, it can be exhausting sometimes from like day to day and waking up extra early or going to sleep quite late. So it's just kind of figuring out how it all fits in. But how about you? I think your routine's changed quite a bit as well, hasn't it?
So yeah, mine's probably a bit more stable than yours.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's probably more stable. So there's like, it's basically breakfast is with you guys, and then the day is more predictable than yours. So the reason yours feel more unpredictable is because Sia is not in nursery, which I think makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So you're looking after her, so it really depends on what's going to happen. But for me, once I'm like 8:39, I'm not doing my own thing, but I'm effectively working, right? So from then it's just a normal work day for me, and I'll do my training during my work day, and then I'll be back. Well, I say back, but I'll emerge from the bedroom around 5ish. So between like 9 and 5, I'm not working a typical 9 to 5 because I'll be in and out with you guys as well. But it's more a case of in that time, it's running the business, and I'll do my training then. And then in the evening, we've got our own time together. So I'd say it's a lot different than the changes in your routine. Mine hasn't really changed.
It hasn't changed, but a good habit.
You might think otherwise, yeah. So.
No, I don't think otherwise. I think a good habit that you've always done, that I've started to do, is plan your week.
Yeah.
And that helps your routine in a certain sense. So you always say, right, on Sunday, I'm going to sit down and say, this is what I'm doing here. These are how many gym sessions I'm going to do, how many runs I'm going to do. This is what time I'm going to spend with you guys, et cetera, et cetera. And I've started doing that. And it's helped me. Like when we do our food shop, for example, okay, figuring out what meals are we going to have and just prepping in advance. And I know what classes I'm going to take Sia to. Because yeah, you're right. She's not in nursery. So I look after her full time. And I'm so fortunate and I'm so grateful that I'm able to have that quality time with her and see her grow up. It's been amazing. Like from 0 to now, she's nearly 2. And yeah, I've just been able to spend so much time with her and see her grow. So we've got such a nice bond. And it's also nice that you're around and she sometimes peeks around the corner when you're in meetings. So yeah, I think that's been a big good habit and a big part of helping us plan what we're going to be doing during our week, even though for me, the slots don't always fit in. So I'll be like, I'm going gym at this time. Ooh, it might be a bit later now, or it just changes slightly, or it can vary. But
well, my routine is also driven by 2 things. One is like the theme of the week, like themes of the days, sorry. So like my days feel like a certain day. Like Tuesday feels like a meeting day because most of my meetings are on Tuesday. So the feel of it is like a meeting day. Thursday when I train twice a day is like it's centered around training. It's like that's what I'm planning my day around. So each of the days are slightly different and it's driven by the training and driven by certain things I need to do each week. And that sort of gives me a bit more, I'd say, direction. But yeah, it's funny you say that because Sia she thinks I just do 3 things, right? She thinks I Daddy goes running, Daddy working, and Daddy coffee shop.
Yeah,
because I work in the morning block in a coffee shop.
It's so cute. Every time you go out, she's just like, "Oh, Daddy going running." When you're going running, or if you're going out to work, she's like, "Daddy working, Daddy going coffee shop." That's all she thinks you do. That's it. You're right.
Well, that is basically what I do. When I'm not with her, I'm only doing one of those 3 things, right? I'm in a coffee shop working, I'm working in the bedroom, or I'm running.
You always talk about, it's interesting you say that because your days kind of split up in themes, and you've always talked about your priorities and how your top 3 priorities change. Do you feel like you've had a good balance of those top 3 over the last year?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I always say there's only 3 things I do in the day and in the week, and that's basically what Sia's picked up on. And I think they rotate in priority quite often. But what I would say is like there's been certain months last year, like when we were away for 3 months, the top priority was probably you guys, just because we were away for 3 months, right? It kind of makes sense. But then there was a period in the summer last year where I was working long hours for maybe 2-3 months. It was like really like longer than I wanted it to be for quite a few months. So that went to the top. And then I did a half marathon, so running went to the top. And then I'd say right now, what do you think my number 1 priority is right now?
It's really interesting. I think it's a mix, but you know what? It's really hard to say actually because I think it's a good balance.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think there is a top. I don't think there is a top one at the moment. Yeah.
But you have got goals coming up, which will mean that top will change potentially in the upcoming months. But for now, I think you've got a really good balance. Like I feel like we get to see you enough. You get to do your training. There's not days that you've missed. You're really on point with everything. You're running, your gym.
It's interesting. It's probably the first time in a long time I've not none of the 3 are like in the lead, so to speak. It's quite well balanced.
Yeah. And it doesn't, there's nothing like right or wrong about that. Like I know I get asked.
In an ideal world, that's perfect, yeah.
Yeah, like I know recently it's been very running focused. You've just been to Kenya. And for me, that was amazing. I was like, go and do that. That's something that you're never going to get an opportunity to do.
Yeah.
But I still remember, do you remember how you told me?
No, go on. Why don't you say it? Because a lot of people have said to me, how did you get away with them? How did you get a pass from the missus on that?
Yeah, so firstly, he went to Kenya for how many days? 15 or 16 days with the flight.
16 days, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously I was with Sia by myself, which is absolutely fine. And he kind of mustered up the courage to tell me one day, and he was like, I've got something to kind of talk to you about. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go, let's hear it. And you're like, so I've been thinking about doing this running course. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm thinking it's probably like an online course or a day long or something, I don't know. And then he's like, okay, and it's in Kenya. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, it's in like a couple of months' time. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he said it was 2 weeks long. And then it just got better and better. He's like, and then I'll probably fly on this day, but come back this day. But you came very prepared. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I came with a childcare schedule.
Literally, he was like, but you're not going to be alone for the full 2 weeks. It's fine. You're going to be, your mum can come and stay. My parents are around. So he almost created this schedule of the support that I can get.
Yeah.
And that, firstly, I wasn't even thinking of that. It did cross my mind, but I was like, we can manage.
Did a long run up.
Yeah. I was like, it's not about the childcare. It's about, I was just thinking to myself, this is an opportunity that you're never going to have again, right? We've got an almost 2-year-old. Who knows what's going to happen next year or whenever the next course is available. It happens once a year, I remember you said?
Yeah, once a year in Kenya, yeah.
Once a year in Kenya. So I was just like, oh, well, next year things might change. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows where we're going to be? So I thought this is a great opportunity and you're never going to get to do it again. And you've always supported me in everything that I want to do. And you're always like, go for it, go do X, go do Y. It's, I've got it. And I was like, this is your opportunity to go and do that. And I really wanted you to. I was actually encouraging it as well. I was like, you should go. This is definitely something you should go and experience.
Yeah. Why do you think it was something that I genuinely needed to do? Because I floated another thing to you in,
and I said
it was
no.
in Cyprus in March. And I was like, oh yeah, there's this retreat in Cyprus. And you were like, nah, so what was different about this? Why did you feel like, oh yeah, this is actually worth 16 days, 16 nights away?
Yeah, because the other one was shorter as well.
The other one was 5 days.
Yeah, I think what it is I know exactly what you're like and I get an energy off you and I know what's good for you, what's bad for you, not bad for you, but what is the right thing, I guess, a good opportunity for you and what's not. Yeah. And when you told me about the first thing, you yourself weren't very sure. You didn't really say it with conviction. There wasn't much trust in the program and whatever it is, the Cyprus trip that you initially were looking at. So when you floated the idea to me, I said, yeah, you can go, because you wanted me and Sia to come. And I said, you can go, but I just don't think it would be worth me and Sia coming. You go, that's fine, go do your thing. So I did say you go, but I also said, are you sure you want to go? Whereas with the second trip, it was a completely different setup. It was something you were so hooked on. You were hooked on the person who was running the actual program itself. If he's listening, you know who you are. You were so excited by it and you've been really into running. So I know how much it meant to you. This was something that you've always been talking about. So when you told me, I was like, okay, well, this sounds like it's a good opportunity for you. And I think this is something that you would really enjoy and love. So go for it. I thought it was a great opportunity for you.
Well, so one of my running friends said to me the other day, he said, yeah, so, I know you're excited about this sub 3 hour marathon goal, but just a word of warning, your missus is not going to be excited about it. Don't start telling her how tired her legs are. Don't start telling her.
I already hear it.
Don't start telling her about your splits and your miles and your speed and all these things because she don't care.
Well, you said that today. Oh, my legs have had it. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So how do you feel when I'm doing some things like that? I'm going to rural Kenya. Or I want to run a marathon in under 3 hours, and obviously it's not. I'm not doing it just to raise a bit of money for charity and tick a box with the marathon. The marathon is often perceived in the general population. I'm trying to do it in a really structured, serious way where the time demands as well. Obviously, I'll pitch that to you in advance.
Yeah.
What goes through your mind when you hear that? When you think, all right, he's going to spend 3 hours every Sunday from August running. He's probably gonna be tired afterwards. What goes through your mind when I pitch these ideas to you?
So firstly, you don't pitch as many ideas, right? But you have your goals, and
goals
fully support them. I think it's incredible that you are doing something to push yourself mentally, physically. And I just think to myself, just because we have a child, shouldn't stop you from doing anything. And yes, I can't go 2 weeks to Kenya by myself and do a running course or anything. But hey, you can and you should. I think it's incredible. It's good for your personal development. I know how much you're into personal development, as am I. And if you have these opportunities, if they're good, I think why not? And the good thing is you're so good at communication. You're great at communication. We talk so much about everything. So before you do anything, you do like tell me, okay, well, I'm going to need this amount of time. This is how it's going to be. Like even now, you're already kind of prepping me. Okay, I've got this half marathon coming, or this 10K coming, or are you going to come to this race? Are you going to come to? And I'm just there like, okay, I've just got to plan in advance. So for me, it's just planning. As long as I know this is something that you want to do, then I'm all for it. I just need to plan and prep and be like, okay, well, this is going to be a week where he's going to be down and out. So I need to make sure this is ready, the dinner's ready. Yeah, like you might be running every single day.
How do you know the difference between like me sharing an idea that you think is just a waste of time versus something that is like something that I really want to do and would actually benefit me? If that makes sense.
I just know you inside out. I know you too well.
What are you like paying attention to? Because obviously I've always got ideas, but I only will go all in on the things I really care about.
Yeah,
I don't go all in on anything. So how can you tell when it's like an all-in thing? Like, for example, like I've talked about marathon for a few years, right? I've said, it'd be great to do a marathon one day, but it was never like this extreme. It was always like, yeah, maybe I'll tick it off one day. And I flirted with it for a few years, but I never like committed to it. Whereas this year I was like, well, I think towards the end of last year, I was like, it came out of nowhere as well, didn't it? It was,
I think it was
October, November. October, November. I was like, it's 3.5 hours I'll probably do in Manchester.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, now I'm going to go sub 3 on my first attempt. But how do you know the difference between it being just like an idea I was flirting with to like, I'm going, like there's nothing stopping me on this thing?
You just showed so much interest in running or in Muay Thai or whatever the previous goals have been. So for me, I'm like, this is great. And you love to push yourself. And you go to some extreme. You're not just like, I want to do it in this time. No, I want to kind of really go for it and like push myself. And that's why I think, okay, go for it. Like, I know you kind of need that challenge as well. And it's just instinct. Like, I just know you so well. And I know the path that you're on and where you're trying to go. And I can just see, like, I can just navigate and be like, okay, well, this works well. That aligns to your goals. That aligns to where you want to be. Whereas this doesn't quite get there, but you can test it out if you want, but I'll back it. But at the same time, I think this path might be a bit better. For example, like this Cyprus thing, I was like, hey, you can go. I'm not that keen on it. But actually this Kenyan one would be great. Like, I think this is what you should do. I don't know. What do you think? Because you've got lots of ideas. And how do you feel telling me all these things as well?
Well, I just tell you all of them. And then I usually use your reaction to gauge whether it's probably a good one or not. But I also, like, when it's something, I can tell when something clicks inside as well.
Yeah, it's like instinct.
I kind of know when I'm all in on something versus like forcing it. Like, I'm not forcing this. I'm not thinking, oh, I've committed to this like 3-hour marathon and now I've got to slog myself through it for the next 10 months.
You're
like, for me, it's
excited.
like I'm buzzing for every workout, buzzing for every week. I'm planning the whole year. Like, I'm visualizing it every night. So for me, it's like but it clicked one day and I don't know what happened. It just clicks. And then I'm like, yeah, it's good. This is my next thing now. And I found that with a lot of things I've done in general, like with bodybuilding or Muay Thai and some aspects of business as well. It's like some things will just click and I'll just go into like tunnel vision. What's it like living with someone who likes to do things a bit crazy?
I don't know, because I think we're both kind of as crazy as each other to some respect. But I think it's interesting. I think it keeps us both on our toes. It's just very exciting, isn't it? Because I think, okay, well, what's he going to come up with next? There's always something going on. There's always something happening, something you want to try, something you want to do. And I'm like, okay, cool. And you sometimes drag me into it. So I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, let's try.
Which one have I dragged you into?
Just trying to think now. I'm sure you've come up with a lot of different ideas. Exactly, one of them. Why don't we do 3 months away? Okay, let's see how we're going to do that with a little baby. But we managed it. We did it. We planned it and we got there. So it just kind of pushes me as well to think outside the box or just push my boundaries and be like, okay, well, what can we do and what can we achieve? There's a lot of ideas that you've come up with, like personal ideas as well. And then I'm like, okay, yeah. And I love that. Like, you kind of, you have the vision of the business and yourself, but you also have the vision of where we're going as a family and as a couple. And I'm just there like driving and being like, okay, well, let's get this sorted. Let's get that sorted. So I'm sorting everything out and you're there like, this is where we're going. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. How does like your fitness journey, how's your fitness journey been like pre and post Sia? like how have you managed it? I know you mentioned it like in passing just now, like your routine used to be like 3-4 times a week in the gym. Now it's kind of like whenever you want to do it. Like how have you managed your health and fitness? And there's obviously two parts to that. Like fitness is probably the exercise stuff, you know, go to the gym, all that kind of thing. And then there's the general health aspect, nutrition, mental health, etc.
Yeah, I mean, before Sia, I just had the time to do, I had my own schedule. I could do what I wanted when I could slot in the gym, my steps, everything that I wanted to do to keep fit. Whereas since I think she's become one again, like when she's been able to walk and have a bit more kind of independence and a thought process and be like, right, I don't want to do this. Or, you know, I'll be like, let's go for a walk. She'll be like, no, I don't want to go for a walk today. And it's like, oh, okay. Or she won't go in the pram. So I'll be walking with her, but we'll be walking for an hour, but we would have walked like 1,000 steps. And I'll be like, we're still here. Like, let's keep moving.
Steps is a hard one, isn't it? Like
it is. And that's deteriorated for me. It's not that I'm not out. It's not a time.
You're out all the time.
I'm out all the time. It's just the amount of steps that I'm accumulating is way less.
Because she's walking.
Yeah, because she's walking and she's just like having a little break. Oh, there's a cat. Yeah, there's a cat. Oh, a plane. That's a plane. So that, and I've just accepted that. So it's not even a case of getting out because I love going out with her and she loves it. We love going out and about. So from a fitness perspective, I try and stay fit as I can because there's also like little movements at home that I can do, which I do. But the gym, I'm only able to go like once or twice a week, and that's when we plan that session in. So when you can look after Sierra on a weekend or an evening or, you know, whenever that is, so I can fit that in. I know yours has kind of been quite consistent, right, with fitness?
But I'd say you've never been into the gym or working out, right?
No, not as much
like before I met you, I barely, I mean, you never went to the gym.
I never went to the gym, no. I only started about, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
4 years ago. And it's just, I'm not that into it, no. I'm not as into it as
because it's not, I think you probably could if you wanted to do a few more, but I just don't think you had the... Why do you think it's never clicked for you? Like, why do you think you not find your thing?
I don't know. I mean, I prefer it to, I used to do classes a lot.
Yeah.
But I much now prefer going to the gym and doing weight training than classes. I don't do any classes. So that's something that I enjoy more of. But I guess I haven't quite felt that like void. I just do it more for knowing that I'm getting older and I want to maintain functional fitness.
Yeah.
And it's helped so much. Like it's helped me with my pregnancy with Sia. It's helped me with postpartum. Like touch wood, like it was smoother than I had expected.
Yeah.
The recovery, everything kind of worked out well, thanks to that. And that's why now I do prioritize it. Like I don't want to go a week. Like I do think, like I went today, I went this morning. Whereas
you're still going twice a week, I'd say, right?
Yeah, once or twice a week. I hope more towards a twice a week end.
Yeah.
But then I feel like I get a bit of a workout out when you're just carrying Sia. Like just doing exercises with her. It's crazy. Like she'll just be there and feel like, carry me. I'm like, oh, okay. We carry her and we're walking like half an hour down the road with her.
Yeah.
How much
I
do you
do
think
5
she weighs?
minutes and my biceps are like,
yeah, you can't do it. I do more walking with her than you do. Yeah, so there's always that as well. Like you're constantly moving, lifting and doing things with Sia. And like she wants to be lifted in the air constantly. And I'm like, oh, there's that shoulder move.
How have you managed your nutrition so well in the last few years? Because when I met you, the first thing I said to you, I said like, how do you, because I noticed straight away that you had really good eating habits. And I said like, you know, have you been like tracking your macros and things like that? And you were like, what macros?
I was like, what's a macro?
Yeah, so I was like, you know, you track your protein intake, are you using MyFitnessPal? Like, what are you doing? And you were like, I never heard of any of that stuff. And then I obviously observed that you're just really good at intuitive eating. And you've, like Ivan on our team, so like he's been saying to me for years, he's like, Chandni's like the gold standard of intuitive eating. Because he saw you do it in Bali, right?
Oh, is it?
But even just in general, from like hearing from me, and I've noticed it. And you know, through the last few years, even when your routine has been like dismantled over and over again, just as the nature of motherhood is, how have you managed to avoid losing your basic nutrition habits? Because it's so easy to just like, eat out of exhaustion or eat when you're stressed, eat when you're tired. I've not really seen you do that. I mean, that's amazing, I think. And that's...
I've never done that. And I'm just trying to think, like, it probably goes down back to my childhood. Like, I've never done that. The one thing I'd say is I started RNT 5 years ago, I think. And it changed my what I eat rather than my habits, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So all I learned is nutrition, and that was a game changer for me. That's helped me stay full, not snack, and eat the right foods. But in terms of my habits, they've not changed since I was a young girl. And I just feel like I just don't even know how, like, I wouldn't snack through any, I've just never done that. So I don't know how.
So
how
let's
they
say, for
could.
example, you have a cookie, right? Or a biscuit, right? Because you have one like
Yeah,
each
I
day,
do.
right?
Yeah, I have
And
like one or two biscuits
you have
every
like
day.
one, right?
Yeah.
No matter when you're tired, whether you're like over the moon, whatever it is, like, has that just been a habit you've always just kept? Like, all right, I'm just gonna have one versus
Yeah.
I need to control myself, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I'd feel sick if I had more. Like I can automatically see my body feeling sick. So I've never done it, but I just feel like after I have one or two, I'm like, okay, I'm content. It's the same
Yeah.
with anything. Like if I have one chocolate, I don't need to eat 5 Lindt chocolate balls. I'm good with 1 or 2 and I've satisfied that and I'm good. It's just how even dessert, like you've seen, I'll have a couple of bites or half and then I'm good. Like I don't need a whole one. I do have my weaknesses, biscuits, crisps, but I tend not to buy as much of it. They're more of like they're just there. And sometimes I do buy them, but I still eat in moderation. But yeah, I just feel like it's something I've always done. I don't actually even know how it came about. What do you think? Like, I don't, because you've seen it in action,
Yeah.
but I didn't even know I do it until you were just like, oh, do you know you do this? I'm like, no.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't even tell you the reasons, which is why I'm so curious about it even now. Just like how you managed to auto-regulate it really well, and just sort of intuitively know when to stop or what to have or when to have it. And that's probably something I learned from you, just how to actually do it like flawlessly over the years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just
But how
like
was it
pick up your own
before?
habits. Well, mine.
Yeah, your habits. of
I'd
before.
say, I mean, I think I've been in a good place with food for like a few years now.
Yeah.
But I'd say
for sure.
maybe around COVID, I'd be like, oh, I'll have a bit more of that, a bit more granola.
I remember all the brownies over COVID.
Go for another piece of like, because I've got a big appetite, but I'd keep it. I'd sometimes struggle with knowing when to stop.
Okay.
Whether it was just boredom or just bad habits. But I think in the last few years, I managed to really like nail that. I don't know if you've noticed that, but just nail
I
it.
have.
And as a result, like I've stayed in the same sort of body weight range or condition for a while. I don't even check my body weight that as often anymore. Like
Me neither.
as you've probably told, like I used to be like every day morning I'll be on the scale, whereas now I check like once every week, 2 weeks, just to make sure I'm not losing weight.
Yeah.
But I've learned a lot of that from you, just learning, all right, you can have one Oreo, not the whole thing. And I have an Oreo every night
Yeah, you do.
without even feeling like I need another one. So maybe, I don't know the answer to that.
But I do remember during COVID time, you did have, or there's been periods where you did have a whole bunch of like desserts at the end of your meal
Yeah.
every single day. And I remember thinking, how is he eating all this sweet stuff? Like it's not
I'll
like-
just justify like, oh, I'm bulking or I'm just like building
yeah, there
muscle.
was an element. But you've been really consistent over the last 2 years, 1-2 years.
Yeah, I'd say leading into the photo shoot and then coming out of it. Whilst I was not in a good place coming out of the photo shoot, just because I got too lean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once I stabilized and consolidated, I think I've been fine since then. I've not been above a certain body weight for a long time now.
But you said even for me during exhaustion or stress or anything, like
Yeah.
I just kind of eat as per
Yeah.
normal. And it's the same for you, but how do you do that?
How do I
it's-
regulate it?
Yeah, because you've had some stressful / exhausting times over the last year or two.
Yeah, so when
how
I'm
do you-
stressed, firstly, I never really feel like uber stressed about things.
That's very true. You're so zen.
I don't really get super stressed about things. I'm not, even if like we've got all sorts of stuff going on, it's usually business related. If there's like stuff going on in the business, I'm still like quite happy-go-lucky.
Very. I've never seen anything like
Because
it.
I think in my head, I'm like, firstly, I think there's not many things now that I think would stress me out. But also I'm just like, it's just business in the end of the day, right? It's just, it's going to be fine. So that's one aspect. I think it's probably the main one is I don't get worked up about it. But I think even if I'm like, because I think the other thing is I can also block out stress. So whilst I might be feeling it, I won't feel it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I am good at that as well, which allows me to sometimes, if I know I need to push harder, I can just do that. I can just like block everything out and just keep going. But I think the big thing for me is just having meal structure. That's been the biggest, like, I've done that for years now, but it's still, like, I still eat basically the same thing every day. And for me, I don't really eat outside of those meals. So for me, if it's that 7 a.m. breakfast or 7:30 with you guys, then it's 12 or 1 o'clock, I have my tofu and toast. Then it's afternoon, I'll have the same oats as I had in the morning. And then it's the dinner, which is usually whatever you decide we're going to eat. I just eat in those meals. I don't really eat outside of them. And that's been the big one for me.
That's really interesting because I eat outside of those meals. I eat I eat a lot, but I guess I eat in small amounts.
Yeah, I just don't eat outside those meals. I just eat when I eat, and that's it. And I can also now tune into, like, when I'm actually hungry. I can really tune into that now. Like, I know when I'm actually needing more food. I've told you that a few times. Remember, like, you know what? I think I need another bowl of granola tonight because I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm like, get that.
And it's usually because I'm doing a lot of exercise. But I can actually tell now when I'm actually hungry versus just thinking I'm hungry. Whereas before, back in the day, I used to think I was hungry all the time. I'd be like, oh, it's been in and out of meetings. I'll go grab a rice cake. I'll go grab this. I'll grab that. And the next thing you know, I'm just adding, like, food into my day. Whereas now I'm, like, genuinely, oh yeah, I actually am hungry. Or I'm not hungry. So I won't eat. So that's been a big part of it. And I think around the stress thing, I think over the years, I've also got better at managing stress. Whereas, like, back in the day, I would do that whole thing of channeling it down, suppressing stress so I can just keep pushing harder. What would end up happening is I'd get either burnt out or I'd come up with skin issues. Remember, my hair used to, like, I don't know, not fall out, it's not the right word, but I used to get that scalp issues.
It's like little scabs.
Yeah, skin. I'd have scabs all over my head.
Yeah.
Or, like, the extreme examples of collapsing or whatever. But I haven't had any of that for years, right? And I think that's just come through better stress management.
That's true.
But I don't exactly know what I do for that. It's not like I've started meditating or I've started. In fact, if anything, I journal less than I used to. And I don't do any meditation.
I think it's all a mindset thing as well as what we've been talking about gratitude and knowing that.
Well, that's the hardest thing for me still.
Yeah, but you're getting there, I think, with it. Because I feel it every single day. And you know this. I'm just, like, living in this little bubble of, like, gratitude of, like, oh, it's just every, you know. But yeah, I think you're kind of learning more about that and then seeing. And that just helps with all scenarios. So stress, you know, whatever it is, anything that happens, it's like, well, it's fine because I'm so grateful for all of what I have, whatever that is.
Obviously, that term is thrown around a lot, and it's you should be grateful for this, be grateful, you know, all that, and it's kind of like it sometimes loses a bit of its actual meaning.
Yeah.
Well, what does it actually mean then when you talk about it? Because you're always trying to coach me into feeling it more.
Yeah, I guess.
And not just, like, saying, oh yeah, I'm grateful for this, or what does it actually mean? I
guess it's understanding. Like, I remember a really vivid conversation. It kind of links to gratitude of us when we were dating, and you asked me, you said something like, oh, well, what would it be if or what would success look like? Like, if I was successful, what would that be like for you? Like, what would that mean? And do you remember what I said?
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said just being happy?
Yeah. And I think that literally is the ultimate thing, just to be...
I was expecting some big answer from you.
Yeah, I was like, it doesn't matter if, you know, we're broke. It doesn't matter if we have nothing. Like, we have each other, we have family, we have a roof over our heads. Even if we don't have a roof over our heads, we'll go to our parents' house. Like, there's always something, there's always a backup. And it's just almost knowing that we're fortunate to have that with, like, everything that we have.
Well, one thing I've realized over you talk about the 3 priorities is as long as I'm living in those 3, whatever else is happening it doesn't make any difference. Like, you know, for example, let's say I was only doing one thing, like work. Okay, I was only working, but I wasn't training. I wasn't able to train as much as I want to train, or I wasn't able, to skip sessions. I wasn't seeing you. For me, it wouldn't be that. I don't want to play that game. I've played it in the past, and I just hate it. Whereas I find when I can do all 3, then I feel really content.
But how does it work when you have these kind of ventures and you do push on one? For example, we had you said in the summer when you were working, I didn't enjoy very long hours.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it for like a week, and then
you did. You were like, this is great, and then I was like, I don't get to see you. I literally didn't see you. We didn't get to hang out.
It was novel and it was new, and then after a week, it was like, oh, this is like. I was having to, like, fire myself up every day. I was watching Wolf of Wall Street. I was doing all sorts of stuff to try and get myself excited about it, but. I got to the end, and I was like, I was having to skip training sessions because I couldn't fit them all in. Right? I could only get like 2 or 3 in a week.
Yeah.
So
we didn't see you as much.
Yeah, barely saw you guys.
Barely saw you.
But I didn't enjoy it by the end. But I find that if I push on like training, it's not like I'm not going to work. Does that make sense? Like I'm not going to not work, and I'm not going to see you guys.
Yeah,
I find like that's a better one for me to push on sometimes, because if anything, it probably balances me out a bit better.
But you're good at fitting it all in. So like, for example, today you went for a run at 6:15, knowing that you had an hour of a run, and then you wanted to have breakfast with me and Sia. So you're like, right, I need to fit everything in before we woke up at 5:30, get everything done. So you're good at fitting in your sessions in order to get the rest of the priorities done as well. Or get work.
Well, today
done,
was what, 5:30 we woke up, and then went run at about 6ish.
Yeah.
Came back, had
6-ish.
breakfast 7:30. Then I worked 9 to 11. Then I went to the gym. So today's my double day. It's
Okay,
Thursday.
okay, yeah,
Then I
of
went to the
course.
gym. So did legs at 11. Then I went straight for a haircut, and then had lunch, and then had meetings 1:30 to 4. And then we left to come here, recording the podcast 5 till 7. So it's pretty full on day, but we've covered all the
Yeah, it's
main
true.
bits.
Yeah, it's true.
One thing that's been really interesting in the last year, I think a big breakthrough for you, is owning the fact that you're not working. So up till maybe, I don't know, 6 to 8 months ago, there was always this like thing around like, but I'm not working, or someone would ask you, "Oh, so what did you do in the day?" And you'd be like, "I look after Sia, but I also do loads of stuff in the business." And I look at you and be like, "What are you doing?" And not to say you don't do anything, but it took a lot for you to own the fact that you were looking after Sia.
Yeah.
What's changed for you that? Because for 10 years since you left university, you had a really good degree. You worked as an engineer for 10 years. And then you worked in RNT for 2 years full time, and then you decided to go completely full time as a mother. We don't know how long for. It could be 1 year. It could be another 2 years. It could be another 3 years. There's no plan yet, right? But like for a good 18 months, I think you struggled with like deeply reconciling with that.
Yeah.
Well, not even reconciling, accepting and thriving in it. Like thriving is probably the better way to put it. Like what's been that shift for you? And
So to give you a bit of context, so yeah, I've been working my whole life. Like since I was 13, I had a little kind of part-time gig, very independent, wanted to always pay my own way, that kind of thing. So I wanted to work my way up in the career. And then I left my job, did my own thing, started working with RNT. I love working. I love using my brain. I'm very hardworking, and I enjoy it. It gives me that like, I love knowledge and learning and developing.
Yeah.
And that the work gives me that. So it's something new diving into RNT. And then when I had Sia, obviously everyone's like, oh, the standard thing is 1 year maternity is what people tend to take on average. Some people go less, some people potentially just continue on. So in my head, I was like, okay, 1 year in, I'm like, I'm on maternity. And then after I was like, I kind of want to continue. Like, we're never going to get these years back with her. I'm never going to be able to see her little face, like doing all these different things. And I just wanted to nurture her and just be with her. And I just loved it. Like, I just loved hanging out with her every single day. So I wanted to continue that, and you supported that. You said, it's the best thing for her and for me to just continue on with that. And I'm very fortunate to be able to do that as well.
Yeah.
But when people did ask, so what do you do? Like, oh, you're off maternity now, aren't you? Like, she's over 1. Like, what do you do? And I'm like, so I look after Sia, but then, I'm doing a bit of work here. And because business doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not in any meetings, and I'm backed away from that completely. We've got an incredible team who are handling like all of that side of things. But we talk about it every day, all the time. Like, we're always talking about it. There's always guidance. You're asking me questions. What about this? What about that? And we're kind of developing and doing things to that extent. But almost, it was hard for me to be like, I'm still doing X, Y, Z, and I'm looking after Sia, because I wanted to be like, I'm still contributing. It was that, for me, it was that shift of like, okay, I am still contributing. I'm looking after the house. I'm looking after everything else that we have got going on. I'm looking after our baby. I'm doing the cooking, the cleaning, all the house stuff, as well as nurturing our little child, as well as kind of supporting you and what you want to do, and supporting the business and everything personal that's going on in our life as well. So there's a lot of hats that I'm wearing. But when now people ask, because before I used to be like, I look after Sia, and I do a bit of business things on the side, and I do this and I do that. But now I'm just like, I don't work. And it's interesting because someone asked me that. We went to an event on the weekend, the family event, and one of my cousin's husband, my brother-in-law, asked me, "So, are you still on maternity? Because Sia's coming up to 2." I was like, "No, I don't work." That's just what I say. I just say, "No, I don't work. I look after her full time." There's no need for anything else to be said in what I do. I'm just comfortable with. It doesn't matter to anyone. Like, I don't care what anyone else thinks.
Yeah.
It's just now I know what I do. You know what I do.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, well, yeah, I just look after Sia full time. That's enough. Like, that's a job within itself, along with everything else that we have going on. So it was that mind shift. And I remember you pull me up on that a few times. Like, do you remember the kind of, what did you think about it all?
Well, I just said to you, why don't you just own it? Like, you are doing, you don't need to justify what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And the reality is, I'd fall apart if you.
I know.
You basically hold me together. So
Yeah.
and you give such valuable input into the business. And now we've started doing this thing every Friday. We've been doing it for a while now, I think, for maybe a year.
A little catch up.
And whenever we fall off, I'm always like, oh, we need to do it again.
Yeah.
But every Friday we try and I just bring all my questions to you, and you just sort of help me sift through all the ideas, because you have such a big picture view that probably no one else has, because you have that bird's eye view.
Yeah, but it's because of you and because I know the business and I know you, and that's such a critical thing. Like, knowing you as the one with the ideas.
Yeah, it's like an advisory role. Yeah,
yeah, and I
really
love that
valuable.
role.
Yeah,
I love it because I want you to thrive. I want the business to thrive. I want the team to thrive. I want just everything to kind of grow, right, at the end of the day. And that's I think we work so well in that sense. And yeah, we have like 2-3 hours every Friday. It works really well. And also every day, like, you'll throw stuff at me. Can you just review this? Can you just check that? Can you check? I'm like, yep, send it over, and I'll just do it as I can, and like when Sia's napping or whenever. And that's where I feel like it's great. We know the value we bring to each other's lives.
Yeah. And what do you think you'll do in the future? Do you
That's interesting because Sia's
you've been starting to think about that, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. So Sia's going to go to preschool next year.
Yeah.
Then obviously as the family grows, as and when, then it's just a case of, okay, well, what do I want to do? I have been thinking more and more about what I want to do, but I think there's a few ventures that I could probably dabble in. I don't want to say too much, but it's just so I guess I'll just have to kind of see what opportunities there are. I'm a firm believer of everything will happen as and when it should.
Yeah.
So when the time is right, because I'm not there yet to dive into anything, but when the time is right, something will come up, and I'm sure I'll kind of sift through and do something. But I don't know what. All I'm saying is it's not going to be engineering. So it's not going to be a kind of full-time job back in the corporate world. I don't think that's for me, now that I've got a taste of this.
To the corporate world.
No. So it's going to be...
Once you get a taste of a small business, how it works, I think it's hard to go back to corporate.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible, to be honest.
But another thing about this this mom role of staying at home and looking after the kids. So I look after Sia full time, but to keep time going or to do activities with her, I go to play groups every day.
Yeah.
And one of the things which I also felt was great is when I go and meet the mums in the play groups, they're all just, I'd say like 60-70% of them are also full-time mums. So they just look after their kids. And that made me feel more comfortable, like, oh, there are people like that. Because I don't know many mums who stay at home and look after the kids or don't work full time, for example. I don't know many mums like that. So when I met more and more, I was like, okay, cool. I felt more comfortable. Like, this is what I'm doing too.
Yeah.
And I was able to openly talk about things with them. And that's what made me comfortable saying it in front of others. So that was really good. How do you feel about me staying full time? Because because I remember when we first started dating, and like one of your top 3 things was I love like an ambitious woman, someone who's like working and bringing.
I didn't say working. I said,
was it not working?
No, I said ambitious.
Ambitious. I do remember that.
I don't think that means that it doesn't have to be work.
It was interpreted at the time, I think, of like
that's what I knew, isn't it? I was 25, 26.
Yeah.
That's what I knew. So I didn't associate it with work, but for me, it's more of a growth mindset.
Yeah, I agree. But what made you see? Because I can see, I can probably name a couple of things. But what made you feel like this is good? Like, I'm happy for her to stay at home, and it's good for both of them.
Because I think it's the best thing for Sia.
Yeah, I think so too.
And well, what else are you gonna do? I don't want you to work for someone else.
Yeah.
So why not just put in my head? It's like, if we're all focused on the same thing, we'll all help the family grow.
Yeah.
And that is focusing on the same thing.
Well,
you're still adding value to our business. You look after all our financials in and out of the business, which is massive. So for me, that's like huge amounts of value.
And I'd say also that for me as well, another thing around my mindset on it is your friends who have got kids,
Yeah.
your male friends who have got kids, their wives and partners, a lot of them also,
Don't work.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it almost made it like when we now meet people, like, oh yeah, she looks after the children, and we love it. That's the thing. Like, I love it. It's something that your mom said. She was like, it's great because you actually enjoy being at home with Sia.
That's another
and I was
thing.
like, I love it. Like,
whether you actually enjoy it or not.
Yeah, my day with her is just so fun, especially now. She's like chatting away with me, talking to me, singing, doing all sorts together.
Well, I met Dad at gymnastics the other day, and he said, I was asking, "Oh, what'd you do?" and all that sort of stuff, usual small talk. And he said he's a stay-at-home dad. He's on a sabbatical. He said the first year his wife took her home. Stayed at home. Second year, he's done it.
Amazing.
I came out thinking, there's no way I could do that. So,
yeah.
It's like it sounds amazing, but I could never do it. Like for me, that's not a. But I've heard of a few other people doing that, but it's not really my thing.
And it's just
you
each
can't
their
understand
own,
what
isn't
you
it?
want to do. So for me, that if I was just being a stay-at-home dad who wasn't working, I think I'd really struggle mentally. Like that would be a struggle for me. But if you love it, then it's different.
Well,
so
that's
it really depends on the person. It depends on what game you want to play.
Yeah, because I know so many mums who are like raring to go back to work. It's got nothing to do with
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's just because for them, that's what they need, and that's great. Like, go for it. That's also amazing. But for me, what mentally keeps me going, because I also need to learn and grow and just challenge myself, is the conversations that we have, knowing what's happening in the business, like using my brain to navigate through problems and solving things. And that for me is my little piece of like, okay, I feel satisfied now. Like, because with Sia, we don't have, it's more like.
And what is it? It's like 3 years of your life. Yeah, but it's like, what? It's 3 years of your life.
Exactly.
That's what it is, isn't it?
It's negligible. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's almost like this is a massive part of her life, a massive time in her life.
Yeah.
And for me, you're right, 3 years. And I love it. Like, that's the thing. So I'm just like, I just want to continue it. I think it's great. Your mum did it with you and Roshni.
Yeah.
My parents, my mum did it. She looked after me. She wasn't working, and also my brother. So it's almost like getting tips from them around what to do, how it works. And
because after that, like you probably will do something because they'll be at school, right? And then the thing is different. That's the other thing. Though, is like I think the reason why for me it's like it's not an issue. Let's say for example, Sia was at nursery and you were just sitting around all day. Then I'd be like, well, you're kind of not looking after Sia and you're not doing anything. Then it would be different for me, but it's not because
I don't think I could do that either. Like
that's
I'd need to keep myself busy and doing something. So that would not happen. But that's just personally me. And if that's what other mothers choose, and that's absolutely fine. It's just dependent on the person and what they want to do, right? What they want to do with their time, what they enjoy, what's good for them mentally. It's it can be it's quite tiring or draining. Like you're constantly kind of you're sleep deprived, number one, potentially.
Why do you think it's so exhausting?
Because you're constant. Well, for me, I'm tired because obviously recently she's been not sleeping as well. So you're waking up tired, but as soon as you're up, I'm there like reading books, playing with toys, like, keeping her entertained. She's keeping herself entertained. And then there's times where if she's sick, she's a bit more needy. So it's like, mommy. Like it's quite, in that sense, it can be a little bit like, okay, because I'm trying to give my all, I'm trying to give my all to her, remain positive and happy for her.
Yeah.
So
how do you do that? How do you remain when you're exhausted?
Yeah.
This is just what you do. It's not like how can others do it? It's more how have you managed to keep yourself like positive when you're in states of exhaustion?
You know what? Especially when she was younger. So more recently, it's a bit easier because she's just quite like chilled and she does her own independent play. But when she was young, I'd say like 6 months and under, it was very tiring. Yeah. We're so fortunate, and I'm so grateful that I have help. Like your parents have been incredible. The amount of support that they've given me / us, unbelievable. So we have such a good support system for one. And I know not everybody does have that, but that's something that I'm just like so grateful for. But I can't say it's all been like happy days, but I don't let her see that.
No, that's not the question. The question was like, how do you keep yourself positive when you do feel exhausted?
I just think
I guess like the question is like, how do you protect your mental and emotional health?
yeah, I just think like I've got this little bundle of joy who doesn't, she's just there. Like I look
So
at her face,
cute.
like, yeah. And then, she'll be doing something. I'm like, I'm so tired. She'll just come up and give me a cuddle in the kitchen. But I love you, mommy. And then on the lips. And I'm like, oh my God. Like I just melt. Like she just makes me melt at times. Like she's just incredible. And I can really feel her innocence and her love. And I just think like, there's nothing but positivity. Like you just automatically feel it, and it kind of lifts me up when I see her running around, enjoying herself, playing. Like there's been days when I'm like, ooh, I'm so tired. I got to get to the play group or something, but I know that it's good for her. I know that we should go. And then when I see her little face light up when she sees the toy car and she's pushing it along, or sees the kitchen that she gets to pretend cook in, she's just so happy. And it just makes me feel like, great, like this is all for her, because I want to give her a good experience, and I want her to have nice days as well. So yeah, I think the positive thing is just, it can be difficult, but we talk it through as well. Like if I am feeling a bit low some days, I always communicate it with you, because and you always kind of lift me up as always, and support me. So yeah.
What do you think's been a kind of segues nicely? What one habit has really helped us navigate being married with no kids to having a child and staying strong, having 2 children, business as well?
I'd say habit is always, we've always made time for each other in some way or another every day. So even during the busy periods where we saw you, even if it's like 10 minutes, we still had that little chit chat. And one of the habits is we prepare ourselves for what's coming. So if you are away, or, if I've got something on, then we communicate really well. So communication is just like, we've always had really good communication. I openly talk to you about everything.
What does good communication look like?
So I trust you fully with everything, and I openly tell you how I'm feeling. Like the other day, like, okay, this is happening, or you didn't clean the dishes, or, whatever it is. I don't bottle anything up. Like we have that, and the weekly check-in also kind of documents it or brings it back up again so we can discuss it and resolve it. And then you're always thinking. So we give each other feedback as well. So if there's something that you've told me, like, then I will work on that and I'll remember it for the week after, and vice versa. And then I'm like, okay, next week you did improve that. That's great. Or I can see the improvements.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to bottle things up, especially with you. Like, I think we're just so open with each other. Like, what do you think of a habit that we've had?
I think the foundation of the breakfast and dinner is a big one. It sounds like
true.
quite obvious, but I think I can't remember the last time we haven't had breakfast together.
Just if you're away or I'm away, that's
Like,
it. But
that's a big one. Like the 3 of us having breakfast together, and then me and you having dinner together. That's pretty. If we're both in, then that's happening. So I'd say 6 nights. 6 out of 14. No, not 6 out of 14. Sorry, 13 out of 14, because we don't really go out that much, right?
No.
So 13 out of 14 nights. Assume once every 2 weeks, one of us is out. We have dinner together, and nearly every day we have breakfast together. I think those are like those key touch points are really important.
Yeah.
And I don't think I think it happened intentionally, but also it's kind of fallen into place by accident at the same time, because we know it works. Because remember, I used to work when I wake up. I used to wake up and work. Do you remember those days when I used to wake up and 15 minutes later I'd work, and I'd do that all through the morning, and then I wouldn't have breakfast, right?
And it's really interesting you say that, because there's been days where I'm waiting, being like, okay, he's gonna have breakfast with us, and you don't come. And I remember I pulled you up on it, and I said,
yeah, I'll be 5 minutes late or 5.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're late because you said you were going to be here for this time, and like we're expecting that.
Yeah,
and
every now and then I'd go back. I'd do these like wake up and work things. So I'd work from like 6ish to 7:30, just like every now and then. But then sometimes I'd be like 5-10 minutes late, and I know I'm late. I'm sitting there like, I need to get off. Then I walk in, and you're both looking at me, and like, where are you guys?
Yeah.
I think that's been a really key one.
I think
realizing it.
Yeah, you. But then from there, I say all I really want from you is to manage my expectations. Like if I'm expecting to have breakfast with you every day, because that's one of the things that we always do. If for one whole week you just decide
I'm working
to work over breakfast and not tell me, or if you're going to be late to breakfast and not tell me, I've always said just manage my expectations. So I know, okay, you're not going to be there today, or you're not going to be
Yeah.
You're going to be this many minutes late or whatever, just so I know. So then I can prep and plan as well. I'm just such a planner, like anywhere we go, I've always had an Excel sheet, an agenda, like everything. I just love planning. Although it doesn't always go to plan, but I just love that. So
Yeah, it's a few things. So that the breakfast and dinner, breakfast is one, and then we always have dinner together. So most of the time, unless you want to eat early, but
Yeah.
I'd say most of the times that we have dinner together. It used to be the morning walk, but I think since Sia started walking, it's been harder to do that because we just end up getting nowhere or
Yeah.
not far enough. So we kind of pull that out of the routine and just sort of do it wherever. So I think it's the breakfast and the dinner. We have the weekly check-in we do, which if anyone hasn't heard us talk about it, it's the appreciations of one another, to-dos, plan for good times this week, opportunities to improve, and then wins. So that's done once a week. I think the other thing also, we know like what we value. So quality time we discussed earlier. So, the 5 love languages, everyone's probably heard of it in some respect, but if you haven't done it, I'd recommend reading the book or taking a test to see which one you are. But I think they are quality time, acts of service, gifts. I can't remember what the other ones are. Acts of gifts. Oh, touch, physical touch.
Oh yeah,
And
there's one more. I can't remember.
yeah, acts of service, quality time, physical touch, gifts.
We'll Google it later.
Yeah, there's one more, but you can Google it. You can buy the book. I'd recommend reading that. I think we read it maybe a year into our relationship.
Yeah, it was when we were dating, and I received an Amazon package. And I was
Did I
like,
send it to
"Ooh."
you?
Yeah, you sent it to me,
Yeah.
and then I opened it, and it was this book. And I remember you texted me, and you just said, "Read the book, take the quiz."
Yeah.
And then give me the book, and then I'll read the quiz and take the quiz. I'll read the book and take the quiz,
Sounds
and
like
then we can
marketing.
discuss
Read
it
the book
over
and take
dinner.
the quiz.
Yeah, and then we discuss it over dinner. I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And then we did that, and
Yeah.
then we learned that our love
Well,
language
it's both
is
the same, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, we both have quality time, number one.
Yeah.
What was your number 2?
I think it was acts of service.
Yeah, it's mine as well.
Acts of service. Yeah, we're not that into gifts.
Yeah.
We're not that into.
Gifts are always tough for us to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, we like experiences over gifts. It's like whatever that experience is, like the immersive Squid Games experience. That was
Yeah.
fun. Over buying me some jewelry.
How do you think we approach like boundaries when it comes to making sure like work doesn't overtake something, or even CI doesn't overtake things, to keep the marriage strong? What have we done so far, or how do we approach it? Because obviously they get blurred sometimes, or
Yeah, I think for me, we've touched on this a little bit, but for me, I would say that we manage each other's expectations and we talk about what's coming. So, for example, for me, one is when work took over in the summer. So I'd say that was you were really kind of diving deep into that. But because I knew it was coming, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, fine, I can prepare myself. And we talk it through. So if, for example, Sia is becoming more of a priority, like there's been times when you're just saying, like you've told me, okay, well, you're doing a lot with Sia, but actually we haven't had much time. So can we have our time? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And then I have to carve out that time as well. So we make the time for each other, or whatever that thing that's missing is. But we talk it through. What do you think? How do you feel we do that?
yeah, managing expectations, planning, and I think it's just these non-negotiable habits. I think it's the breakfast, it's the dinner.
Yeah.
I think it's those little things that make all the difference.
Yeah. It works for us. So
Yeah. Cool. What else have we got on here that was requested on this thing that we should cover? How do you feel about cultivating health and fitness in the future of the family?
that's interesting because we talked about nutrition for me and you, but we
Yeah.
didn't talk about it with Sia.
How do you think we're approaching that? Either subconsciously, consciously? What do you think we're doing?
So every morning we weigh our porridge, and I've started weighing her porridge so I can see what portion she's eating. But there's no for her, I just want to make sure she eats clean and healthy. But we've not given her any salt, any sugar or added salt, should I say?
Just to interject, I think the weight in the porridge is part of that, by the way.
Sorry?
I don't think the weight in the porridge is part of the equation.
No, it's just understanding her portions for me is that's the one thing that I do. Just it's quite nice to see, like, before she used to eat 6 grams of porridge and now she's eating.
Yeah, she's only eating 6 grams.
She's eating 6 grams. Yeah, that was so small. And then, like, as she's growing, I'm
Now
just
she's on,
like,
like,
what's she
40.
eating? Yeah, I'm just like, what's she eating now? Like, that's the only reason. But then I also know if she's hungry, what she can potentially eat. I just want to make sure that she eats well. We don't add salt to her food. We don't give her sugar. So that's something that we avoid completely, which has worked really well. But she's really a foodie. Like, she started off well. Like, we started her weaning well, her food, eating solid foods well. And I try and cook her, or I do cook her food every day because I'm at home, so I'm able to do that. So I don't give her too much kind of on the go stuff. So I'm making her fresh food. And she loves all the food, and she's reading about it in her books, like her vegetables and her fruits. And I like it when she tries different foods, especially Indian foods. Everywhere she goes, like if she's at grandparents' house, she's trying different Indian dishes. And I like that. Like, she's making rotli or thepla or something, which is really cute. And I think she just naturally, she does well. Like, what do you think about her nutrition and what we've done?
So I think the no salt, sugar, screens diet is good.
Screens. Yeah.
So that's one thing. I think the fact that we eat clean helps so that she doesn't see us eating shit, to be honest, because they do mimic stuff. They mimic behaviors. Like, if you just think about the fact that she knows that I go running, she knows I make coffee first thing in the morning. She knows I work at the laptop. So imagine she just saw me eating crap all the time. She'd probably want a bit, and you don't know what she might think. Oh, that's the normal way to eat, or like, she knows I have a coffee first thing I wake up. She now makes it for me, right?
Yeah.
She says she knows I grind the beans, so she wants to pour the beans in there. So they pick up on things, and I don't think I realized that until having Sia, just how much they do pick up on things.
Yeah.
So if all they saw was if all Sia saw was us eating takeaways, for example, she probably think that's the normal way to eat.
Yeah, I mean, she now cooks with me.
Yeah.
So I get her in the tower, she's standing, and she's like, see, I chop mushrooms. I'm like, yeah, go for it. So she's there chopping mushrooms with her kid-safe knife, just to add. So she's there, like, chopping away. So it's just a blunt knife that you can't do anything with. And mushrooms are super soft. And then she sees me, like, staring. So she's like, see, I stir. So she's stirring things. She knows oats. She knows porridge. She knows cooking. She knows rice. Like, it's really nice that she knows ingredients. So I let her play, like, have a feel and understand what each thing is. She pours things in. And I think it's nice that we let her get involved. So when you're because you make breakfast every morning, when you're making breakfast, she runs up to you, gets in the tower, and she's like, Sia wants to pour oats, and she stirs everything. So automatically for her, she's like, okay, this is what we're having for breakfast. We're not, like, throwing a lot of syrup on it or, whatever it is. She just knows this is our breakfast, and we love our breakfast, and she loves the breakfast, and she can identify that as, this is what I eat. And it's interesting you say that about you don't eat much in front of her, or because you don't eat much in general, but I do. So I have things like crisps, I have things like biscuits, but when I eat it, she doesn't have any desire to have it, which is strange, because if I'm eating something else, like rice, she'll be like, see, I want rice. And I'm like, that's interesting. So when I do eat a biscuit, like, I don't necessarily need to always hide it, or I give her little kind of snack that she can have, her little oat biscuits that are homemade. So she knows, okay, she's got her biscuit, mummy's got her biscuit.
I don't know. Obviously with nutrition, it's hard to know, like, if you're doing the right thing.
It really is.
Until they get older.
You just don't know, do you?
What you can do, in my opinion, is it's give them healthy foods.
As best as you can, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people have quite high levels of control of that. So, minimize processed foods, show them what healthy food looks like, and then just instill those behaviors, just instill the habits. And I think kids really do mimic things. And there's a reason why, like, the research is clear. If the parents are obese, the kids are. If one parent's obese, the kid's 50% more likely to be obese. Both parents are obese, it's 80%. It's not a coincidence that happens, because the behaviors are just there. You just eat high volumes of food, you eat high amounts of food, bad eating habits, and also movement. So movement is the big one I've seen is, Sia sees me go running, and now she does the stretching with me. She knows.
Yeah.
She knows what running. She knows activity. And what's interesting is if I was only training in the gym, I don't think she'd see me train that much.
Well, that's what it is with me, isn't it? She doesn't see me train because I don't train at home as much.
Yeah. So, but it's only because I do all my warm ups
Yeah.
at home on the mat. So she sees me do all the glute bridges and the leg swings. So she thinks of that as exercise. So I think they definitely mimic on these things. I'm seeing her mimic more and more. So what we can really do is just show them. They just mimic what you do, right?
Yeah, it's just basically just live, and she'll see how we live. But it's really interesting, this fitness and exercise thing, because when we were in Leicester for the last few days, and she did that. She was squatting, and she was like, "See, stretching," and she was doing lunges. I was like, "Can you do a lunge?" Then my mum started doing it. She started doing it, and then my nephew started doing it. Niall started doing it, and it was just really cute. And I was like, "This is nice." Like, she does know the exercises, and she loves running. She just wants to run everywhere now. She's like, "See, I'm running," and she just runs around everywhere. And it almost makes her feel like, okay, well, Daddy goes running. I see him. I make sure she sees,
Must
like,
be
she
important.
watches you run. Yeah, she's like, "I want to go running," because I always say, "Are you going to run?" She's like, "Yeah, running like Daddy," and then she'll go running everywhere. So it's really cute that she sees that. And now I also like do little squats with her here and there, or just show her that, it's good to move around. And I do more dancing with her, to be honest. We just get up and dance.
Yeah, no, she starts dancing, right?
Yeah, she dances a lot now, yeah.
And the other thing is, like, maybe more for the future, but like books is a big one. Having that
she loves,
learning mindset. So, us reading, or like she sees me writing stuff a lot down.
Yeah, same for me.
In my work. When I'm planning my day in the morning, she'll see me doing it. So she thinks Daddy's writing or Daddy's book. So she knows there's something about books that are cool. And I think that's something that I want to intentionally do. And then the other thing I want to intentionally instill is the entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah, you're big on that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like saying, "Oh yeah, you must own a business in the future." It's not that. It's more just a way of thinking. So it could be creative stuff.
Yeah.
It could be talking about money. It could be talking about businesses, local businesses. It could be, there's so many things to it that I think you can cultivate that energy. And I think she's going to see it, right? She'll be around it. She'll probably start hearing all my crazy ideas in not so long future. And she'll start thinking, okay, this is a potential way of living. So it's just, they'll see what you do, what we do, right?
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of mimicking happening, especially as she gets older. There's just every day she's doing something new. She's learning.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to see. She's a sponge.
Yeah, it definitely forces me to level up my habits. I would say that's for sure. Because I don't want to have bad habits in front of her. I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
Do you not?
Not really. I don't know what the bad habits are. You know what? For me, it's just, I'm just myself. All I want to do is just be myself.
I'm not sitting there thinking, I'm trying to be this person for her. It's more just like, if I've got bad habits, I want to make sure I'm working on them. So it's not part of who I am, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, overworking, which is one of my previous, I think I overworked. Yeah. So now I try not to do that. So she didn't just see me working all the time. Imagine all day long, especially because I work from home.
Yeah,
imagine all day long, all she saw was
you at your desk.
Her childhood was me at the laptop. So that's probably not the best.
Well, it's nice that you make the effort to do that. And that's something we really appreciate as well, that you're able to work from home. You're able to kind of pop in, chill out with us for like 10, 15 minutes, 5 minutes in between a meeting, and then head back. And that's just nice for us and for her to see. She gets so excited when she sees your face come in, or when she hears your footsteps, she'll just run. So she gets run to you. She gets really excited. So that's something that we're really happy about. So it's nice.
What does success look like for you right now in this phase of your life?
This phase of my life, I think continue just growing as I am, and continue doing what I'm doing. I'm in a really good, happy space, and I don't want nothing to disrupt that. I just like where we're heading. We have a clear plan, a clear direction. So yeah, success is just continuing. Like I'm
continuing what though?
Continuing as just the life that I'm living. Continuing looking after Sia, continuing us, like maintaining all the habits, maintaining all the routines that we have in place. It's something that's put me in a happy space. And I just want to, that for me is success. Like, as I said, for me, it's just happiness. So yeah, just living in this space.
What do you think your challenge is at the moment?
The volatility of Sia's routine. So, because that, she might wake up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. That's it. And navigating that, because I'm such a I like to be in control, and it's just something I can't control. And I'm really learning to be like, okay, this is just, you've just got to let go.
Yeah.
Just got to let go. Whatever will happen. And every day is different, and just accept that. You have good days, you have bad days, and just getting that in your mindset is just going to help navigate that. So yeah. Well, what about you for success? What does it look like?
I'd say it's just the fine balance of trying to pursue my 7 to 8 hours of training a week, fulfilling my responsibilities in the business and being there for you guys. If I can just keep that harmony going, then I think I'll feel pretty good. For me, it's just that racking up those perfect days and just stringing them, as many of them as possible together. I think the biggest challenge that I can foresee in the coming months is, so obviously my personal goal is to run a sub 3 hour marathon, and I'm planning on doing it in December. But then it's not but and then found out recently that we are expecting a second baby.
Yeah.
Due in August or early August, late July, somewhere around that period, which is just before my marathon prep begins. So now my biggest challenge is getting ready for the idea of doing my marathon prep with a newborn.
Yeah, and for me, it's just as I'm getting bigger and bigger, just maintaining, looking after Sia, and just continuing as I am, because it will obviously get challenging as pregnancy progresses.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just every day, little bump is growing.
How do you feel about having another one?
I feel really excited. Like initially, it's really weird because it's something that we've both always wanted.
Yeah.
We've always wanted a family, or I've always wanted like 2 children, a sibling for Sia. But when it happened, I was still like, oh my God, it's actually happening. Like I just didn't think it would happen when it did. I thought it wouldn't happen so soon. And I was just like, oh my God, it's happening. So initially it was quite a shock. And I think hormones took over and it was a bit overwhelming, especially during week 7 and 9. I was exhausted. Do you remember me waking up and then being like, right, I'm going to take a nap again? I was just so tired all the time. But once it kind of sunk in, it didn't sink in for a while for us, but until the bump started showing, we were like, wow, it's actually happening. And I'm just so happy and I just can't wait. It's going to be nuts. Like I've seen so many women go through it. Some have like 2 under 2 or, really close together, like kids who are close in age. Honestly, I don't know. Like just thinking back of the newborn stage from Sia was a bit of a blur. Like I remember everything, but it's Mike. I don't remember how I felt, like how tired I was. It's just a passing phase now. And I'm just thinking I'm going to go back into that deep end. So I'm just trying to make the most of the time that we have now. And then we're going to go back in it. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, excited, scared.
Why are you scared?
I think it'll be a lot harder with 2. And the few dads I've spoken to, they just said it's a massive level up. I mean, Ed on the team said 0 to 1 is hard, but 1 to 2 is like another level. It's not like 1 plus 1 equals 2. It's like 1 plus 1 equals 5.
Oh gosh.
And he said something like that. And this was before I told him. And he was probably thinking something was up. But I remember him saying that. And then I heard it from another friend, Ian. He said something like, for guys or for dads, they don't realize that they don't realize they're dads until they have 2 kids. Because all of a sudden, when you got one that you can tag team, or you're okay with like going to Kenya because they'll be all right.
Yeah.
Let's say you had a newborn with you. There's no chance going to Kenya, right? And I think that's another reason why I felt like this was my perfect time to go, because we knew that we were expecting, and I was like, this is the I'm not going to get this chance next year, right? We're going to have a 4-month-old. So I think I've heard that, and I've heard a few other people say that it's like you really know you're a dad when you have 2, because everything just gets more intense.
It's
I think we'll be
interesting.
all right.
I think we'll be all right. Like I think I've had both ends of it. I've seen mums in playgroups who are just looking incredible. They've got a little baby in the sling. They've got another one running around. And I'm like, you look incredible. Like how, I'm living off minimal sleep. So I'm just there like, she can do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
And then I've seen the other moms who's like, this is so challenging. But it just depends on your circumstance. And we've got support. Like, as I said, like we've got family support, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think it will be challenging. I think it's just, again, it comes back to like just the outlook, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just mentally preparing myself to be like, it's going to be challenging. I'm expecting it to be challenging. Therefore, when it is, it's okay. Like, I'm not expecting it to be easy. It's going to be challenging, and that's okay. So just managing myself and keeping me in check to be like, it's okay. Because remember, I doubted myself a lot. Like when Sia was young, am I doing this right? Am I producing enough breast milk? I think I'm running out of breast milk. Like all these things were going in my head. And I think a lot of mothers might be able to relate to this. Like you just doubt, okay, am I doing this right? You feel a bit guilty for some things. And I just remember all those feelings. And I think because I've been there and done it, hopefully for the second one, it's easier from a perspective of my thinking. And, you know, when the baby goes through something, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like that phase, see, I did that. It's fine. And a few mums have said it does become easier in that perspective, but then you're back in you're sleeping 1 or 2 hours a night. You're looking after a toddler as well, as the little one. And then the toddler, you got to nap the toddler, you got to nap the little ones. It's just, it gets a bit complicated.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited. Like, I think it would be amazing. And then
I think I'll probably need to be more structured with my training and stuff like that.
Well, I was just going to ask you, what are you going to do differently?
I think potentially a bit more structure with training. I think in the week it'll be different. It'll be the same because I train during the traditional working hours, right? So I just integrate that into my day. I don't know. I feel like my weekend running, I'll have to give you more of a heads up. All right, it's going to be this long. It's going to be at this time. And I think I'll have to really, it's going to be that locked in time. Because now it's still a bit of flexibility, right? Because I just time it with Sia's nap at the moment, don't I? Just Sia's nap is at 11:30-ish, 12-ish.
Yeah.
So I'll do my long run then, and it works quite nicely. But at that point, she might not be napping, so she won't be napping. We don't know when the other one's going to be napping. Yeah. So it's like, I think it's just being more structured and planned a bit more anyway. But I'm really happy that I have flexibility, and that's something I've always wanted. So I think the flexibility will help.
Yeah, for sure. And I know leading up to the birth of the second baby, we're giving ourselves time to connect as well. So it's just me and you. Because now Sia's at the age where she can do like a sleepover at the grandparents, or she's been doing it for a while. Or she is quite comfortable kind of being away from us. So we're using that opportunity. We're just like, right, what can we get done? Like for this, for example, is the classic example. Or can we go out for dinner, or can we just do anything like as a two where we can connect? So we're using this time wisely as well, which is good. Like I just want to make sure we do, because I don't know when we're going to get like time to ourselves. It was hard in the first year to have that. But now we've got the first year and then a toddler as well. So it's just thinking ahead. Just planning, but yeah, it's exciting.
Fantastic. Any other bits for today's podcast?
No,
for the annual podcast. I think it's been like once a year around February we do it.
Yeah, no, it's been really nice. It's good to catch up on what's happened over the year and just where we're at now.
Fantastic. Outside of the baby, what else are you looking forward to this year?
Seeing where the business goes, just everything that's happening at the moment. So there's some cool stuff that's going on. So that would be interesting to...
Very vague answer.
I know, because I don't know how much detail to give here. Just everything that's going on, like with the growth of the business. So yeah, just excited about that, excited about baby, excited about potential, like what's happening with our living situation and what we're going to do. Yeah. There's just a lot of different things.
Well, what's happening there?
Like, you don't know. Just what we're going to... Because we live in in quite a small space at the moment, a 2-bed flat. So just understanding, okay, well, where are we going to be? We were looking for moving into a house, or where we want to live, location, like all these kind of things are kind of the discussions that we're having right now, right? So just seeing where that goes for the rest of the year. I'm looking forward to our little trips that we have planned. We've got a couple of trips coming up. So we're going to Ras Al Khaimah. I don't know if I've pronounced that right. It's near Dubai. And I'm doing a little birthday surprise trip for Akash as well, to Italy, to Milan and Lake Como. So that will be nice. Looking forward to that. Yeah, just like all these little bits. There's always something to look forward to, isn't there?
Yeah.
What about you?
So Kenya's finished.
Yeah.
So that was my big thing at the start of the year. Next up, we have the 2 trips coming up. So Ras Al Khaimah and Lake Como, which is very cool. It's a birthday surprise, by the way.
Yeah, and I had to tell you.
Yeah.
That went horribly wrong.
And then, the big one for me is the marathon. That's like, it's a new thing, something new. I've never done it before. And I've got a lofty goal around it. So I'm excited for that.
That'll be good. We support you. We'll be there.
Fantastic.
Actually, will we?
I think that's a wrap.